channel. Today's post is going to be on a blog post that I have already done previously, and it's one of my favourite topics because it combines yoga and nutrition in one subject. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the yogic diet. So what I mean by diet today is a way of eating, and not as like a specific kind of restricted diet that you have to follow in order to lose weight or achieve a certain goal. It's just a general way of eating to stay healthy. So this is like a different perspective to a healthy diet, essentially. It's the traditional diet of a yogi, which may have been their diet sort of over 5,000 years ago or even longer. So whilst a lot of this diet is backed up by scientific evidence, there are some elements to it that are not to say that they are not effective, but just that they haven't been heavily researched. But there are many important messages that can be taken from this and that we can apply to our own diets. I think it's a really good kind of way of eating. It's very intuitive, it's about listening to your body. So the Western diet categorizes its food into different components, and these are protein, carbohydrates and fats. Differently to this, the yogic diet categorizes the foods in terms of the way they make you feel and the type of energy that it gives to you. It focuses on conscious eating to refine the way you eat and maximize the potential of your body and of your mind. So if we think about the way that we would want our bodies to feel, we would want to feel energetic, we would want to feel agile, and we wouldn't want to feel dull and tired, lethargic. So the concept behind this way of eating is that within all food there is a source of prana, which is a kind of life force or life vitality. So the three types of food categories are sattvic, which is food that makes you feel light, energetic but calm, and alert and also emotionally stable. Rajasic food makes you feel restless, overactive, overstimulated and hyperactive. And tamasic food that makes you feel lethargic, dull and tired. So already you might be starting to think of different foods that make you feel these different ways. Sattvic foods can include fruit and vegetables, grains, light spices and herbs, natural sugars, flavourings, and is generally cooked with a minimal amount of oil. This food is perceived to be light on the body and provide energy for your mind. And these foods are very similar to what we believe to be healthy in our Western diet. People often feel energized after having a smoothie and consider salads to be light and digested very easily. Foods containing fibre are recommended for good digestion, and these foods include fruit, vegetables, whole grain bread, grains, beans, oats and more. So Rajasic food can include fizzy drinks, coffee, tea, strong spices and foods high in added sugars. And tamasic foods include meat, fish, eggs and foods that are generally very fatty. So consuming Rajasic and tamasic foods have been described as having a negative effect on the mind and body. And it's easy to imagine how this could be through just common observations of how these foods make us feel after consuming them. So having food and drink high in sugar often will make children hyperactive and lose their concentration. Having a heavy meal like a steak or a large roast dinner makes you feel tired and lethargic. You want to go to sleep, you want to have a nap afterwards. Within the yogi diet, these types of food are generally avoided, with some exceptions where you can have some of these foods minimally, maybe for a certain medicinal way, or if you live in a colder climate where some foods are eaten to keep warm, for example, some more fatty foods. I've given you a general list of what types of foods fit into these three categories. However, one of the biggest things is listening to your own body when you consume them. So thinking about, how is this food making me feel? Do I feel light and energized and awake and able to concentrate? Or do I feel dull and tired, unable to digest the food properly? And maybe other things that you may be experiencing. One of the ways of discovering whether you have a particular allergy or intolerance to something is simply by listening to your body and noting what you eat, when you eat it, and when you start experiencing negative symptoms. In general, an easy guide is to think about our sattvic foods. So they're the ones we want to be eating, the ones that are giving us energy. So they're often full in colour. This has a positive effect on both the mind and the body, as when you're eating something colourful and appetising, your body is much more accepting. Tamasic foods generally lack in colour, which has a negative effect. In general, colourful foods tend to have a higher concentration of nutrients, whilst more processed foods tend to be more brown in colour, are often lacking in our nutrients, and have higher contents of fat and salt. So overall, traditional yogis would follow a predominantly vegetarian diet. This would contain fruit, veg, grains, spices, herbs, without eggs, and they might consume some small amounts of milk. So the yogic theory behind the benefits of a predominantly plant-based diet is linked to prana. So as I said before, prana is our life force. It is the life force within the universe, the life force that all humans and plants contain. So it's believed that the sun is the main source of our prana. So only plants can derive life source from the sun. So this we're talking about when plants photosynthesize, which we know scientifically that plants need the sunlight to thrive and to grow. Therefore, they believe that plants are eaten to get the most direct source of prana into their bodies. They believe that if you eat animals, then this provides you with a poor source of prana, distorted, used prana, due to the fact that the animal has to be killed to be eaten, whilst plant foods are still alive when you consume them. Some people believe the prana to be gone completely. So when I talk about prana, prana is essentially the energy that you get from food. So all foods contain energy. So as well as these three categories of food, there are also some other points to consider which make up the whole yogic diet. So the first one is your food source. So it is good to eat quality local produce without added flavors, preservatives, or any unnecessary chemicals. When thinking of our diets from a microbiome point of view, I think this is really important. We are surrounded by certain types of bacteria within the environment we live in, and we are able to deal with that bacteria in our bodies because we have grown up to it and we have defenses against it, or we already contain certain types of bacteria in our gut already, and our body is used to having that bacteria. However, when we import foods from other countries or we eat lots of processed foods, the bacteria is either different or it's destroyed completely, and that is not natural for our bodies. So the quantity of food, this aligns very much with Western ideals about portion sizes, but the way that the yogi diet addresses it is listening to your body. So eating small amounts and then listening to your hunger signals. When your body stops telling you it's hungry, you stop eating. So avoiding overindulgence, avoiding taking seconds just because it tastes nice. And also suggestions to stop doing this mindlessly is to turn off any other distractions whilst you're eating. So sit either by yourself if you live alone, or sit with your family and turn off the television, turn off phones, and eat mindfully so that every single bite you take, you taste and you enjoy that food. And this actually helps tremendously to stop unmindfully overeating. And mindful eating actually has tremendous benefits in the Western society for preventing obesity and overweight population. So another important component of the yogi diet is timing of your food consumption. So they believe that food should be eaten in tune with the planet's natural cycles. So they believe that prana is best absorbed early on in the morning. So therefore our breakfast is a really important meal. So it's recommended to eat foods that are high in prana in the morning. So that's your fruits and your vegetables. And in addition, a heavy dinner quite close to bed is advised against. This is well in line with current scientific evidence on circadian rhythm. So it has been shown in studies previously that having a high calorie intake within 4 hours of going to sleep has increased body fat percentage, and when calories are consumed earlier on in the day, according to your natural circadian rhythm, body fat percentage is naturally lower. So the last component of the yogi diet is food preparation. It's believed that if food is made lovingly and caringly, then this love and care will then be imprinted onto the food that is made. So this is similar to the Western diet, where we believe that there's no food like mother's food. So mums make food lovingly and caringly for their children, and even after the children grow up and leave the home and they come home, there's nothing like coming home to a meal that is cooked lovingly and caringly by your own mother or father. So batch cooking on a weekend can be an easy way to consume home-cooked nutritious food, which can then be reheated during the week. So the things to take from this are to avoid convenience food and take time to prepare your food. Providing your body with good food with lots of nutrients will make you feel healthier and improve your ability to carry out all the other tasks in your day. Putting more time into your food is an investment later on. You'll have more concentration, you'll complete other tasks quicker, and that will enable you to even have more free time overall. The yogic diet provides a different perspective towards eating compared to the traditional way of Western food consumption. So some important takeaway messages from this video are: experiment to see what food does on your body and mind. So spend just a few days trying out different foods and seeing how they feel for your body. I'm confident that the healthier foods that you try are going to make your body feel much better. You're going to feel much more energetic than when you consume foods that are highly processed, high in fat and salt. Eat foods with a variety of colours. The more colours your food has, the more likely that its nutrient content is going to be higher. Base your diet on plant foods, including fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, legumes, nuts, light herbs and spices. You don't necessarily need to cut out other types of foods, but reduce them as much as you can. Buy local, good quality food. Be conscious about your portion sizes. Consume most of your calories during the beginning or midway during the day, with smaller amounts towards the last 4 hours before your sleep. Put effort into pre-preparing food instead of buying convenience foods, and use techniques to save time such as batch cooking and freezing your food. So if you do want to learn more about the yogic diet, check out the book Diet for Health and Higher Consciousness. I'll put a link in the description box below. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I'd be happy to discuss things with you. Remember to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for watching.